The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid is a book that I've seen everywhere. A lot of my favorite booktubers enjoy this book. They keep recommending it. I'm not really into contemporary fiction, or no, actually this is a historical fiction kind of. But I finally decided to drink the Kool-Aid, and wow, the book has a lot of hype, but for good reason. This book is about Evelyn Hugo. She's 80. She's been a bit of a recluse, but she decided to contact MovieFiendz, which is like a magazine, and wants Monique to do a story about the dresses. She's going to donate them to charity for breast cancer. So MovieFiendz is like, oh, okay, but how about, we give you someone a little bit more senior? And Evelyn Hugo is like, no, I want Monique for some reason. And when Monique goes to talk with her for their first meeting, to go out for lunch, Evelyn has an agenda. She wants Monique to write her life story, and will give her all the details of her 7 husbands and her long Hollywood career, her humble beginnings, her sort of all of her hopes and dreams and her regrets and everything, and will tell her about her one true love, exclusive, just for Monique. And Monique's like flabbergasted that she's going to get this story worth millions of dollars. So we sort of jump into the modern day when we're getting Monique interviewing Evelyn, and then we get the perspective of Evelyn in the past, and we start with all of her, the different husbands, but mostly just like her humble beginnings. This book is so well paced. It is really absorbing. Evelyn Hugo is just such a dynamic character, but I really like how all the characters, not just Evelyn, but the husbands, their friends, the Hollywood elite circles, Monique, they all just sort of leap from the page. They feel so alive and real. Really dynamic characters that I really enjoyed and remember. And each of the husbands are unique in their own way, but it's less about them and more of her story of what was going on with her career at the time. I really like the amount of energy, or not energy, the amount of research done for old Hollywood. It feels like she feels like a real person. And I really like the fact that Evelyn Hugo is a fictional character, but the author also decided to create an entire, group of amazing fictional characters for her to interact with. Because, it'd be easy enough to just be like, oh yeah, Evelyn Hugo, she dated Gene Kelly or something. It'd be easy enough to just insert her into old Hollywood. Taylor Jenkins Reid manages to create her own sort of world for Evelyn to inhabit. So everyone in this book is fictional except for the one person they mentioned. But I really like that aspect because it's a lot of work to do that, to create your own world like that. So everything everything feels fresh. It's not like, oh, Evelyn Hugo was Shirley Temple. No, it was like Evelyn Hugo working her way up, doing the classics, doing a Shakespeare movie, or doing a war picture, marrying this gung-ho guy. Her first husband did this, second husband did this, and then you can sort of, it's a lot of fun to mentally cast all of the fictional characters because there's a lot of fun traits in there. If they ever make a movie about this, it'd be fun to cast. But I really liked, how they she did all the research of how Hollywood was kind of gross back in the day, sexual favors for jobs, racism, scandals, pregnancies, racism, all that stuff sort of thrown in there, and it sort of introduces the Hollywood veneer, but also shows you the true nature of the industry. I really liked how all that felt really dynamic and absorbing throughout the entire story. I was listening to an audiobook, I couldn't put it down, man. I just wanted to keep going, and it's not too long either. It's a really emotional, engaging, absorbing story that's just really well done. And I guess the ending's a little bit melodramatic, but overall, I really enjoyed this book. I really got into it. So I give The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo a 4 out of 5.